All right, guys. Welcome to the Cultured Atheist podcast. I'm Cameron, your host, as usual. This is my co-host, Ethan, and we have two new guests on this episode.
Hello, I'm
Do you want to, go ahead.
Already ruined it. I'm Katryna.
And I'm Alaina.
And you guys are sisters, correctly? That was one of our questions, was, are you guys related?
Oh, yeah?
And how have you almost killed her twice?
Yes, we are related. We actually come from a family of 11 girls, so she's number 9 and I'm number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she has almost killed me twice. Would you like to start off the original?
Like the only story I feel like my perspective in both these stories is kind of funny. So when I was like
mine was
12,
very dark because I was unconscious.
I was 12 and Katryna was 10. And we were like fighting as you do as siblings. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you two can relate.
As the siblings they are.
Yeah. They look so much alike, don't they?
So much. I get them mixed up all the time.
And I was just overcome by this like grand amount of strength. And I lifted.
Whoa. So we had been arguing like in the middle of the night. Like this was in the middle of the night and we had been going at it. And then, we started getting physical. And then
I was overcome by this immense amount of strength. And I like picked her up and then threw her down on the ground.
As hard as she could.
And she was like unconscious. Hence the silence. Like, I thought that she was dead. And I was, like, freaking out because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to tell my parents that I just killed.
She's just like,
I don't know how I'm going to tell mom and dad that I just killed, like, their daughter. And then,
not
like, she started
that, but the one that they
moving.
liked more between the two of us.
That's true. Wait.
And then I, like, came back alive.
Yeah.
Like, I was like the breath of life that you have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like I just start bawling because my head is hurting so bad. Like I landed on my head. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to comfort me.
Like the thing you do when you hurt your sibling and you're like, no, don't tell mom. Be quiet, don't tell mom and dad.
Yeah, because our parents' room was right across the hall from our room at the time. And so I'm just like crying and she's like, shh, don't wake up mom and dad, be quiet. She's like, you can sleep at the end of my bed. I'm like, what kind of a privilege do you think this is? Like, you take my life and then you're like, I'll make it better. Like, you can sleep at the end of my bed. I'm like, I won't sleep in your bed, period. Like,
bed.
I will sleep at the end like a little dog.
Yeah. Like, curled up. But, like, this story has outgrown us. Sometimes when I tell people this story, they, like, go to tell it back to me and they're like, no, you were going to hide her body. And I was like, well, actually, no, I haven't. Like, it's become a tall tale.
Right.
Like, literally, sometimes when I'm telling that story, people will say, no, it happened this way. I'm like, I was there.
I was the perpetrator.
I killed her.
I was the one who's about to go to jail for, like, accidental manslaughter or whatever.
When you're, like, 10 years old or whatever.
Yeah. And then recently.
Yeah, the other one was, like, a month ago, actually.
Yeah. We were practicing a dance for her wedding, and part of it involves me like picking her up and then like doing that. But we were practicing for like the 10th time and we had an audience, so I was nervous.
Of Christian and Carson.
Yeah. And
they were so
she like jumps up onto me and then I look down at her and I see her face. She probably had like a double chin or something. And then I like just dropped her onto our floor, which has concrete under it.
Yeah, so it's a carpet that's just concrete, no padding, and then carpet. And she just drops me.
And she's just like, and then I was like, do you want to do it again?
So literally she's standing over me. I'm like gasping for air. Like my head is just pounding. Like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. And then she's like, well, that didn't work. Should we do it again? And I'm like, no, like I might have a concussion.
A conscience?
I might have a concussion. There was one other time that you knocked me unconscious. I don't remember.
Another time? Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember
I'm
this.
strong.
But I deserved this one. So she was standing on like a spinny chair in the basement, and I just thought it'd be so funny to go and push her and like see what would happen. And I pushed her, and what happened was like her fist like flew and hit me in the face like that, and I just fell and was out.
Nice.
She's passed out a lot.
Yeah. That's like not because of you.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe it is because of me. Because everyone came after me, like, chucking you on the ground.
Yeah, you are the villain.
I can see it. You're always a villain in someone else's story, right?
Yeah.
Factually correct.
Would you guys say that you're like the closest of all of your 9 siblings? Like, you two?
Probably. I know what you're thinking right now.
French toast. Yeah.
And was it because of the violence?
Probably.
I think her almost killing me brought us closer. The relationship with any of my other sisters.
We probably never admit it, but yeah, probably. I mean, I'm going to be the...
Wait, are you saying I have to say that I enjoy her as a person? Because that's gross. I feel awfully vulnerable in this moment.
Well, I'm going to actually be the star of her wedding.
Yeah, she's going to be my maid of honor.
Are you going to sing?
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Okay, we're not going to do that.
Are you going to go to the next question? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of what you guys were saying, like, how was it growing up with 9 sisters?
It feels like we only have 2 other sisters besides the 2 of us, really.
Me and Alaina talk about this sometimes, like, because there's a very big age gap between us and, like, the oldest sister. So there's 20 years exactly between the oldest and the youngest. So, like, I don't remember what it was like having everybody at home because that was when I was, like, 5. So it feels like all my sisters past, like, the one that is older than Alaina, just feel like my cousins that we're close to. And then
or, like,
Shauna,
our babysitters.
Alaina, and Rachel are my real sisters because they're the ones that I went at it with the most.
Yeah, it was, like, much
Because
more...
I enjoy the other ones.
That's true. It was much more emotional, like, when Shauna got engaged than when, like, any of my other sisters got married. I was just like, yeah, get out of the house.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'd agree. But, honestly, sisters are so wicked.
They're horrible. Girls are so mean.
We have some pretty good stories. Like, one time, my sister, LaDonna, fell asleep under our pool table when she was supposed to be doing school because we're homeschooled. And Shauna found her, and she woke her up by punching her in the face. And Shauna didn't get in trouble. LaDonna did because she was sleeping when she was supposed to be doing school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, one time, one of our sisters who hates milk, one of our sisters trapped her in the garage and, like, pinned her down and opened her mouth and shoved a funnel down it and poured milk down her throat. Like, you could, like, drown. Like, can you imagine?
Getting
death by milk?
Milk aborted?
Yeah. So that's what it was like growing up with sisters.
Dang.
But you did also have a lot of clothing options. Like, for example,
many.
I'm currently wearing Katryna's shirt.
Oh, there you go.
And I lost it for, like, half a year. And I just found it the other day. And so
Yeah.
I washed it and I wore it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's fun, though. I feel like as we grow up, we like each other more. I mean, she's only tried to kill me once in the past couple of years, so that's a success.
For sure.
Nice. I actually have a Mean Girls story as well.
Oh, please
My,
share,
uh,
please share.
mean.
They are.
So I have a sister, and obviously an older sister, and she's great. She's very loving. But when I was like, I want to say I was like 4 or 5, and she would have been like 7 or 8 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were opening presents at my grandparents', and I was like starting to open like one of my presents, and she basically just like grabbed it from me and like opened it for me, and she was like, "Oh, that's super cool. What do you got?" Whatever. It was totally like, bruh, you just like took my present away from me.
That's so funny.
I like really thought you were gonna say she like beat you over the
Yeah,
head
I
with
was
it.
so
Like
excited. I was like,
anytime I hear like a
No,
sibling
no.
story, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
when are the blows
What's the
coming?
worst thing that could happen?
But I was
right?
like, Kayla is such a gentle
Yeah.
soul. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine her like
I know.
She was
beating
much
you.
different.
And
back
so
trying to imagine
I
this.
would like to know, what was it like growing up with 9 sisters for you two?
9 sisters. I have 2 younger brothers.
That's pretty
But
comparable.
my neighbors though, they were from El Salvador. My parents' neighbors are from El Salvador.
Oh, cool.
The dad is like he is on the board of like some huge like Christian nonprofit, and they moved from Texas. They had 9 girls, 1 boy, all
Oh,
biological.
gracious.
The
Yeah,
boy was
boy.
the oldest,
Dang.
and they're all like engineers and like pre-med.
Holy crap.
And, super, but they were like
We're not that cool. All my sisters are stay-at-home moms, which good for them, but...
But I would hang out with them because they were all kind of like my age and they lived right next to me. And it's very interesting having like, I don't even know what it's like to have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
So to be around like 9 girls, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be the oldest, the guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also have 4 female cousins.
Oh, I was
4 or
I thought you
5.
were
I
going to
don't
say
remember
that you
exactly.
had like some
Sisters.
hidden siblings, and I was like,
I might. I was adopted.
More. That's
I
true.
might have some hidden siblings in Korea or something like that.
who knows?
Who knows?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Are you just going to repeat everything she says?
Yeah.
Can I tell one more mean sister story that's just my absolute favorite? Please?
Tell as many as
Yeah.
you want
Okay, so one time, my sisters LaDonna, Sarah, and Shauna, I feel like they were the meanest when they were younger, but they're all pretty chill now. But Shauna, so Sarah told Shauna that she was going to give her like this beautiful makeover, her and LaDonna. And they ended up doing this makeover with this foundation that was like as white as that Jesus light, like so white. And then they put like mascara in her eyebrows and just all of this super ugly stuff. And then when Shauna saw herself in the mirror, she was ticked and she was like, I'm running away. So she grabbed her runaway backpack that we all had under our bed and she's walking down the driveway. And then Sarah and LaDonna go out there. They go, wait, Shauna, stop. Nobody's gonna take you in looking like that.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's just
I
my
would like to
favorite.
say as a disclaimer, I did not have a runaway backpack because I was a good kid.
But I mean, we all thought it. Like,
Complete
we all thought it.
I used to
all
draw
had
maps, but it was never because of my parents. It was always because of my sisters.
Yeah.
We were like,
Mine
our
was-
sisters are so mean.
Yeah.
I just
I
leaned so
liked
far
my
away
parents,
from
but my sisters, oh my gosh.
that. Horrible.
Are you guys
Don't listen to this.
are you guys pet people?
We have
Like dogs?
so
Cats?
so
So
many
many pets.
animals.
I really like dogs. I'm not a cat person though. Like,
I like Mowgli. He's our cat.
yeah,
Mowgli.
that's the one cat that I like. We have this outdoor cat Mowgli, and he's a
He
really
comes
good
to
cat.
his name.
a lot of pets. A lot of pets. That's
They do.
Thank you for listening to Cultured Idiots.
Yeah.
We literally have so many
Yeah.
dogs. How many dogs do we have?
I think we have 6 right now. But I have my dog Merida. She's a corgi, and she's so flippin' fat.
She's very
But
fat.
I really like her. I think I'm mostly just a dog person. We neither of us like horses, but we have like 5 horses, and we hate
Really?
horses because we had that as our chore for forever, where we had to feed them, and
We would stay at the barn for literally 6 hours. I don't remember what we were talking about.
about
Pets?
pets and
Pets.
like how
I
Horses.
have only ever had one pet, and it was we shared a dog. His name was Toby Mac,
Nice.
as you
we
do.
called him Mac. Yeah.
He was a little poodle and I hated him. But I did also have Mexican jumping beans at one point, and I loved them so much.
Have you guys ever heard of those? It's basically like these beans, and there's like these like
Moths.
moths that are in them, but they're like not fully like grown yet, so they make the beans jump. And my parents got them for Alaina like when they're on this trip, and so they were her pet. And then eventually, like after a couple months, like the moths like are
Came
born
out.
and they come out of the beans.
Mhm.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But I also have
That's
a
pretty
lot
cool.
of plants, which I feel like are pets.
You look like a plant person.
I am.
She is.
They're dying right now because it's winter, and I'm really, really upset about
Do you
it.
have like lights set up for them to
No,
like?
I don't have
Oh.
lights. They'll be fine. Like it's winter's almost over, and so I sometimes I look at them and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm such a bad plant mom, and then I leave.
So she's not that sorry.
I go to get milk from the store.
What?
It's trust me,
It's
it's
really pouring down my sister's throat.
it was actually a really bad joke, but it's fine.
So speaking of dairy, there was that photo of you guys at the Tillamook Cheese Factory. Do you like cheese?
We
my
go
favorite
there
picture.
every single year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we go every single November. We go down to the Oregon coast with our family. That's just like our family
Nice.
vacation, and we always go to the Tillamook factory. I do like cheese. I love how it has so much variety. It's so beautiful in all its forms. Like there's mac and cheese, and there's like nacho sauce. They like dip chips in, and then there's like also just like cheese you eat from the bag, and then there's also like grilled cheese, and then there's cheese pizza, and oh my gosh, like what a beautiful thing.
Okay, those are different foods, not different cheeses.
But it's kind of like how potatoes come
That
in
was
like
the cultured part of the podcast and the idiot
and the
part.
idiot. But like you know how like potatoes come in like fries and chips. And,
What's
those
your
are
favorite kind
different
of
foods.
cheese?
When we go to the Tillamook factory, we usually get a bag of this one called squeaky cheese.
Squeaky cheese.
It's really good. It
It's
makes
really
us-
good in tomato soup.
yeah. And squeaky cheese. It's also called like cheese curds very often. And the best.
yeah.
the best thing ever is fried cheese curds.
It's really good.
Fried cheese curds
so
are good.
flipping good.
Do you remember?
That is like it's better than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I like cheese. Okay, I don't like plain cheese.
Wait,
What about,
plain
like, cheese
cheese.
sticks?
Oh, okay, so you just wouldn't eat plain cheese.
I don't
Cheese
like
sticks
cheese
are
sticks,
good.
but
Grabbing
I,
a block of cheese.
Yeah.
No.
no.
I like Swiss cheese.
I think that cartoon
That's
cheese
good.
looks really good.
Cartoon cheese. It does
Swiss
like in
Like
Tom
Swiss
and Jerry.
cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would
Yeah.
eat like Swiss
Swiss?
cheese like in like a like a cartoon. And like when like they come in those blocks, like with like the wax. I like to-
yeah.
okay.
Oh, I hate those.
You don't like the...
No.
I like Baby Bells.
Yeah,
For the
those are
experience.
Everyone likes Baby Bells.
For the
No.
experience. I think they taste horrible. Like if someone just handed me an open Baby Bell, I'd be like, get this crap away from me. Chuck it and then it bounces in the background. But like opening it like out of like
So
the wax
satisfying.
thing,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I like making little like characters out of the wax. Yeah.
I
mean,
used
we
to
all
play
had it
with
when we were, like,
crayons,
middle
so
school.
like that's not that weird.
I'm a great artist. I'm great at drawing.
I'm sure.
You've seen my handwriting.
He's really bad at it, so you should teach him. Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need some help, Ethan.
He really
I'll help
does.
you.
All I can do is stick
I'll help you.
figures.
Yeah, I can help you with that. I've been told I can't even draw stick figures correctly.
Oh my gosh, that's really mean. But like me too.
There's no correct way.
Yeah, there is no correct way.
Yeah,
When I was
it's all up to
young, I
interpretation.
just did like a head and then like legs and arms off of the
Wow.
head. So
You've
I
grown
used-
so much.
I love to see women succeed.
That's true. That's true.
nice. Corn dogs.
Oh my gosh! I'm so excited that this got brought up.
Maylee! Did Maylee
So
ask
explain.
this?
Okay,
I guess so.
so I actually have the story of the corn dog experience, but Elena's a part
We were-
of it too.
Yeah, we were
Um,
literally like a continent
yeah.
apart.
We're kind of so basically when I was doing in Costa Rica in 2017, our friend Maylee Hansen was also on that team with me, and she was on my work crew when we were like painting a house one day, and somehow we started talking about corn dogs. And I was like, oh, my corn dogs are really good, like with mustard, and they're just delicious. And she's like, I feel like I've just never had like a good corn dog. Like I haven't had the right corn dog experience. And we were like, that sounds like a band. And so ever since then, like me and Maylee and Alaina have called our group like the corn dog experience.
Yeah.
And so whenever we like hang out or like we go on like little adventures, it's like the corn dogs experiencing things, I guess. But
I
sorry.
think the best corn dog experience we ever went on was when we went to Wisconsin Burger. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we like explored the South Hill and like drove
Mhm.
through like the Rockwood neighborhood, which is insane.
Yeah.
And we went to Manitou Park
Yeah.
and the greenhouse, which is
Yeah.
closed down because of COVID, and I'm so sad about it. I wanted to
Yeah.
take the kids there.
Yeah. She's a nanny, so when she says the kids, that's who she
Yeah.
means.
I usually call them my kids, but for sake of simplicity, they
She's
are
not a
the
mother.
kids. I am
Um,
not.
Yeah. I think my favorite corn dog experience was when we went to Garland, and then I think that we also went to the greenhouse that time too, and we also like went to the view and everything.
That was a lot
that
of
was
fun.
a really good one.
Yeah.
But we also have like corn dog experiences at Maylee's house where we just sit on the couch and just
We
play-
Her house is so comfortable.
so comfortable.
Literally
like,
every single time, like we're like almost falling
there's just
asleep.
something in the air.
Yeah.
but we play. They have a version of like Mario Party that's Shrek
Oh my
Party,
gosh.
and we
Nice.
play that every time because
That's awesome.
like me and Maylee have this bond with Shrek. So
just to clarify, the corn dog experience never really involves you guys eating corn dogs.
no, we
It
still
hasn't
haven't
yet.
done that
We
yet.
talked about going to a
We
place
need
that had
to.
corn
We
dogs.
just haven't found a place that's like that looks like it's a good corn dog. Like
I
that
can
will
tell
be
you what's
the
a bad
experience.
corn dog place.
Please tell me.
My worst corn dog experience. This is a low point in my life.
Oh no.
I went to it was when I was going to college, and I went to a gas station.
Oh no!
Oh, Cameron.
It's already pretty bad. Worse than I imagined.
And I got a corn dog, and it was not fully cooked.
Oh no!
It was bad.
So it was like the
Like the pig was still like alive a little bit.
It was like
No, not quite that bad. But
okay.
like the breading, it wasn't fully like it was kind of
Ew.
wet.
Was it like doughy a little bit?
Yeah, it was like kind of doughy
so
and
gross.
it was bad. I ate like 2 bites and then I was like, okay, this trash needs
I've
to
seen
go.
it.
I'm so sorry for
Yeah,
you.
that's pretty
I'm
bad.
not. You did it to you. It's very self-afflicted.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't get
Wow.
anything at gas stations anymore. So
You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Just fuel.
You've been hurt before. You don't need to travel that road
I
again.
have trust issues.
Maverick has good food.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard like horror stories of people getting like sushi at gas stations,
No.
and I'm like, why would you ever be that
Yeah, why
dumb?
would you do
Like
that?
you're just asking for it at that point. Like I
Oh,
don't feel
yeah.
bad for you. A corn dog is a little more understandable, but ooh.
So if your band was called the CORNDOG Experience, what genre would you be?
Oh,
indie rock.
Punk.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
indie rock.
Is that what you guys listen to mostly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maylee actually, so she's pretty good at like graphic designing and drawing as well. And she drew like our band. And so I think I'm a fried pickle. I can't remember
Probably.
which instrument I play. Are you the mini corn dog? And then she's the onion ring?
Katryna,
Why
you would
can't I
definitely
be
be
a
the drummer.
fry?
I think I was the drummer.
You'd be the
Yeah.
drummer. You would be like the bass guitarist or like the
Oh
acoustic
yeah.
guitarist.
Yeah,
And then
electric
Maylee
guitars,
would be like electric guitar and vocals.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I haven't
Um,
looked at the art in a while though, so I can't remember what you and Maylee
I want
were.
to be a fry.
You might have been a fry actually.
I eat a lot of fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good times.
What's your favorite like ethnic food type?
Love food.
I really, really like Thai food.
I was gonna say
Thai
Thai
food's
food.
Thai food's good.
Thai
I
food
love
is just
curry.
my all-time fave. I just love like all of the noodles and like sauces, and all of the meats are so good with Thai food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who doesn't like Thai food, and I seriously reconsidered our whole friendship. I was like, this puts a strain on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thai food
And
is really good.
why? Because it's delicious.
Yeah, like how
do I need to explain
How do I
that?
go further and deep? Like I thoroughly enjoy it.
It's
That is all.
fantastic. Very yum.
Thai food's good.
Yum.
What about you, Ethan?
Yeah, what about you guys?
Man, I would say probably like. I would go with Thai food. I don't know if it's my favorite though. Like if I ate it every day, I don't know if it would stay Thai food. You know what I mean? Like if you were
Yeah.
to eat Thai food every single day, I don't know if it's just like Thanksgiving's really good because you only have it once a year.
Oh, okay.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
So I used to literally get Thai food so often. I would call and they would know who I was before I said anything and
Nice.
have my order ready to
Yeah.
go.
I've
There was
had
this
that
very
happen
nice man who
one
always
time,
helped me.
too.
I think his name was Ryan. If you're still out there, thank you for the food.
Thanks, Ryan.
So speaking of foreign trips, what was your favorite memory on our Ukraine trip? And either one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like I was on the second one.
I feel like I don't remember anything. You're so tired.
Yeah, those first couple of days are pretty rough.
Oh yeah. Okay, so like probably my favorite memory would be reuniting with the students the second time around.
Mm.
It was so good to see them, and I miss them, and I love them. And so like the excitement and like having them like remember me like was so touching.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I think
Definitely not splitting my nose open though. That was not a good thing.
I so wish I was there for that.
You gonna tell the story?
Yeah, please do.
Well,
I tell
it's
the
not
story
that
to
exciting.
the most random people.
I just love
actually-
your I loved your reaction to it. You're like, oh, it's totally fine. Like I'm
No,
good.
yeah, I was like, okay, so pretty much we were doing this like ropes course one day, and they gave like the safety talk for every single thing except for this one where you were stacking boxes and you would climb as you were stacking the boxes.
But like, explain what the boxes were like.
They were like those plastic milk carton boxes. And so they didn't tell us like you can't walk in this area when someone's doing the boxes. And so I like walked by, and as I walked by, someone was doing the boxes, and they fell on me, like a bunch of them, and I was wearing a helmet luckily, but the box hit my helmet and then bounced down and broke my nose open. Like it was completely like a huge gash.
Yeah.
And my
gnarly.
boyfriend, he like came over to me, and I was like, I'm fine, go away. It's just a bloody nose. And then I'm like holding it and like I feel that there's like a dent, like it goes down. And Stephanie like runs up to me and I was like, I hope my nose isn't broken. Oh my gosh, it's totally broken. And then she's like, okay, it's fine. I'm going to get ice and like take care of you. And she did. She did so well. I love her.
Nurse Stephanie.
She's the best.
Nurse Stephanie?
They're both
Not-
nurses.
But we're
She's talking about Stephanie Brown.
Stephanie Brown, yeah.
oh yeah,
She
they're both.
Beth.
The one from
Yeah.
the previous podcast.
There were two.
Just ignore him.
The people from the Stephanie, the nurse from the previous pod that was on the last episode.
I think she.
The louder,
I think
the
she-
louder one. The
I
louder
think
one.
she
They ruined it.
knows that they're both.
So we realized that it's like pretty much fine, but it's just like cut open really bad. And so Nicole does like butterfly bandage is to like bring the skin back up. And I have to go to a Ukrainian hospital.
Did you have to get like a nose
Real
job?
sketch.
No. You can see the scar is still there if you look really closely. But the doctor, so it was like really sketchy. Like there were no lights on and I had to get like a x-ray to like make sure like it wasn't broken, because if it was broken they would have to reset the bone and I would have had to have surgery in a foreign country.
Yeah.
But it turned out to not be broken. They just needed to stitch it. But the doctor who was stitching it, he was like, she's so young and she's so beautiful. So young and so beautiful. Alaina. And after we were done, the lady who went along with me as my translator, she asked him how much we owed him. And he said, Alaina, give me a kiss. And that was like the payment. And so I got a free x-ray.
Whoa.
But we paid for the stitches because I did not kiss him. But yeah,
How to scare
so
their
It's
friends.
hard to know if they're like
Like,
joking.
She's
or
like
not, you
on
know?
the trip
I
with
know.
her boyfriend too. And she's
guy.
like, it was free.
yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
At what cost?
But
God is good. It was free.
It was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
scary.
The Lord provided.
Truly.
Yeah.
But really, it was like $5 American.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their medical stuff is cheap.
Yeah. I'd say my favorite Ukraine trip.
Memory.
My favorite memory in Ukraine was probably just like every night we'd have like bonfires with them and just
Oh
get
my
to
gosh,
talk
yeah.
to them, and I really enjoyed that. Also, I really enjoyed, we called it like conversation corner. That was like one of our rotations throughout the day where we'd basically just sit with like a whole bunch of like questions and we'd just like talk to them and make them practice their English, and I really liked that a lot. But
Yeah. The only time I cried when I split my nose open was when I realized I was going to miss conversation corner. Matt was the one who said something about it. And so he was like right in front of me and I just start bawling and he was like, and yeah, the end.
yeah.
What about you, Cam? You
Yeah.
went to Ukraine.
I would just say just like hanging out with the Ukrainian students.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you had a
Yeah.
really good connection with some of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so. But yeah, it's hard like not going on the trip this year and not like connecting with them and seeing them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the camp food was actually like pretty good. Like it was more of like the traditional
Yeah.
Ukrainian food, but compared to the food that we had in that hotel,
Oh my
holy crap!
I know, I
that
actually
hotel
liked
food.
the hotel food. The sweaty omelets. I would never betray her. Sometimes
Okay,
I
here-
like wake up and I think about them and I'm like, I
stop.
wish I could go back.
So here's what the hotel food is like. So it was a plate with like 2 pieces of bread, like plain bread. And then you'd have like a thing of jam, which was like fine, but it was like not enough jam to like even cover the bread. So then you just have like this dry bread. And you have like the sweaty eggs. They're like way overcooked. Like a dark,
But,
like a
like,
dark
cold.
yellow, cold
Yeah.
like scrambled eggs with like no salt, just completely like tasteless.
You should
and
have
then you have
gotten
some
the
tea.
bacon one.
Oh, cool.
The tea was always very good.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
was, it was,
But I was
but-
also like severely dehydrated that
Yeah.
entire trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so like drinking the tea felt like, I don't know, like a gift from God every single time.
It was.
It really was.
Yeah, traveling a bunch, like you get really dehydrated and you don't notice it. And so like those first
Well,
2
then
days.
we also
Yeah.
lost power.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like their water was like sulfury and you could taste it.
Yeah.
Like it tasted like eggs.
No, it was
Not
the
the
sweat
good-
from the
not the
omelet.
good
They
sweaty
like took
eggs.
it
This is
just
the
in
camp, right?
case.
We're talking about the camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, ew.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Losing power at that camp. It was just like in the middle of the evening, and I think Katie was sharing, and it was just like all of a sudden, it was just like, bzzz,
Oh my
and just like
goodness.
nothing, and it was very odd.
Mm-hmm. And then it like came on the next day while we were like praying with the students, which was cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good times. Good times.
Cool.
What's your guys' testimonies?
I mean, we were raised in Christian homes.
Join the club.
We were raised in the same home. What am I saying?
That's not a testimony.
Or it can be like a way that you've grown recently. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be like, I grew up in a Christian church and, you know.
Yeah.
Did Awana and memorized Bible verses.
Yeah. I remember like the moment pretty well, I guess. It's kind of funny because we're different like doctrinally, so I'm like talking about me praying the prayer and I'm like just
And I'm like
How
triggered.
old are you?
yeah, so well, I just remember I was like 5 and it like finally, I don't know, it was starting to make more sense to me. And I remember my mom was in the shower, like in her bedroom getting ready to go, and I went and knocked on her bathroom door and I was like, Mom, can you pray with me? So that's how it happened. And then I don't know, I feel like my faith has grown a lot within like the past couple of years, just like seeing like what does that mean, and like I don't know, taking it more seriously and having it be more personable to me. Yeah.
I mean, I also prayed with Mom, but I was at the stove. And I'm pretty sure it was a New Year's Day, and she prayed with me. My entire life, I feel like I struggled with assurance of salvation. So I would often re-pray the prayer and like, you know, go up for like the like altar calls and all that stuff. I was very immersed in like that kind of culture and stuff. And I was like, maybe this time the prayer will stick. And I feel like I really struggled with assurance of salvation until I probably
Became a Calvinist.
until I came into Reformed theology. Which is interesting because people often think that you can't have assurance of salvation in as a Calvinist or as a Reformed person.
What about Reformed theology made you more secure in your faith?
I would say that it's
Unconditional election. The U and T.
unconditional election is fantastic because if it were conditional, none of us would be saved.
True.
And also, the probably perseverance of the saints.
Like urine. Because probably pee. I was like,
Child.
thank you
Perseverance
for
of the
elaborating.
saints.
Child. I would say because God is faithful is what I see in that part of Tulip. God is faithful and he will hold on to his sheep and they will not be let go from him and or taken from him. And I for growth, like what I don't know what I would say exactly for that. I feel like just like being in a like I would say a huge source of growth for me is having relationships where I can discuss faith related things with people. But yeah, just like having like relationships with fellow believers and like talking about like the gospel and like your prayer life and all that stuff. I feel like that's been really good for like growth.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I feel like as I've gotten closer to like other people in the SYA and like even in my relationship with Christian, that's been like a huge part of like growth for me. I feel like because we were able to have a lot of those good conversations, and I've also like I really enjoy like apologetics and watching those kind of videos, and I feel like that's just like been good apart from like like having that knowledge in my head, I guess, because like I had that faith beforehand, but just having like the knowledge that
Like
it's,
learning
this
how
is-
to defend your
yeah,
faith.
learning how
Like,
to
you know,
defend your
Peter
faith,
says.
and and knowing that like there's assurance from this apart from like faith, like this is something that's actually logical, and like here's all the reasons
like
why.
it's truth.
Yes,
like the
it's
thing
truth,
is
yeah.
like if Jesus didn't die and rise again, like our faith like is the end.
There's
but
nothing.
yeah, but like we can
closed.
prove it, and like it's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And have you guys shared your testimonies on this?
Yeah, please. tell
Show.
us.
We did.
Twice,
What was
didn't
that
we?
like?
I think we
Yeah,
did it twice.
we did it on I think the last
Yeah, you guys
podcast,
get a
or like
lot
an
of repeat
abbreviated
questions,
version.
don't
we
you?
do. Yeah.
We do, and I think it's good to like have some more regular questions that we like
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to hear our testimonies, listen back to I think it was like episode 2.
Probably
and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And what was the
6.
timestamp?
Timestamp?
10
it'll
minutes
be
and
in the-
47
it'll be in the,
seconds.
it'll be in the comments.
Fantastic.
To be continued.
There'll be a link in the comments. Do you guys have a favorite worship song, or songs, or album, or artist?
I'm guessing Elena's is like Hillsong or Bethel.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
I'm
we have
kidding,
to go back
I'm
to
kidding.
She's
Fired.
reformed.
I'm kidding.
In case you missed that.
joking.
Okay, actually, guys, the other day someone told me that I should go to Bethel Church because I think it's okay to do yoga.
Where does the whole like Reformed like Calvinists are very legalistic then? If you're saying that they're not as legalistic.
Yes. So I would say that's probably dispensational Calvinists
Okay.
are very legalistic. So like John MacArthur.
Yeah.
So that probably stems from there's this controversy called the Lordship controversy in I think the 90s. And John MacArthur really headed that up, and he's like known for like saying like Christians shouldn't drink beer at all, blah blah blah, no tattoos, all that. And so I feel like a lot of people really associate Calvinism with John MacArthur when we are like John MacArthur's not reformed, get him out of here. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like one of the biggest reformed podcasts is actually called The Reformed Pub. They are no longer. We miss them
Oh, sad.
less.
Sad.
They had like 100 some episodes though, so they had a good run.
Rookie numbers.
This is episode 7. Sit down, Cam. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I think that people also just assume that Calvinists are like very like conservative because of like the idea in
If you
that like
if you depart from the faith, you
were
are never a
saved
part
in
of
the
the
first
faith.
place, and so I think that they're just so quick to assume that like if you're
Like, we're doing a lot
you were
of-
never saved in the first place. But
like
that's
we're
not
doing
how
a lot to
Calvinists
preserve
be.
our salvation, but no,
Yeah.
we know that God will preserve our salvation.
My favorite worship song is How He Loves. I don't know. That
Phil
one's like,
Wickham.
no, John Mark McMillan.
Oh,
And yes, the
Wow.
sloppy wet, not the unforeseen.
Oh, the sloppy wet kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you
I
can't-
just
can't
I
do the other
really
one.
like that song. I like the words in it. Like he is jealous for me because I feel like that's such a cool attribute of God that like he has an attribute that we like have such a negative view on, but when he does it, it's actually a very beautiful thing that like he would have those feelings for us, I guess. And then my favorite like classic like hymn song is Jesus Paid It All. I cry every time I hear the song. I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
So
my favorite worship song would be He Will Hold Me Fast. I know it by Sovereign Grace, but again, like with Perseverance of the Saints, like just like the idea of like God being faithful to his sheep. That would probably be why I like it so much. But like, yeah, sometimes I just like text Carson the lyrics in all caps, like he will hold me fast, and so impressive because I love it. That's a good
That's awesome.
song.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I specifically like the King's Kaleidoscope version of Jesus Paid It All. They have an
They're
album
good.
that's like all the hymns. I'm actually walking down the aisle to their version of In Christ Alone.
Nice.
You know,
Aw.
it's just so epic with like the drums. It's gonna be a good moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Mine is Places by Allie Page. I'm sure there's like a bunch of different other versions, but this version specifically is just, it's pretty epic. It has like a lot of dynamics. So like it starts off like super quiet, and then just like gets super amped up. But basically the song just talks about how like we don't know, where, if we don't know like where we're going in life, like God knows, and he is leading us into those places that we don't necessarily know. Maybe they might be like, unforeseen circumstances or, something new that we didn't expect. But, God kind of holds all of that, and it's just super, super epic. And yeah.
It's awesome.
Ethan.
I like In Christ Alone. And then like him, I said this last time, 'Tis So Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a really sweet one.
it is.
The hymns are so good.
So good. I
Yeah.
love it.
I love a good hymn.
I just feel bad because like the last episode, I just totally blanked on like favorite hymns. I honestly just like, I don't know that many hymns.
Well, like I feel like people know the hymns, but like they don't know the names of them.
Do they know the
right.
hers?
Oh my gosh. Amen and a woman. Am I right? Equality.
That's funny. So another music question: if you were a boy band, what boy band would
That's
you be?
easy.
One Direction.
So we actually had a really big phase with One Direction, and there was this app that you could get
yes.
that was called Date 1D. And it was literally you chose your favorite member.
We
and
paid like $10 to marry
we paid,
them.
It was actually 99 cents. We paid the 99 cents upgrade so that we could marry them in the app. My favorite was Niall, and hers was Zayn.
The
I can see
traitor.
that.
The
Yeah.
traitor.
He
that
works
makes
more
sense.
hard.
He's
yeah.
so
Zayn's
Boyfriend's gonna listen to this.
He's
Zayn's
so
my favorite out
talented.
of the One Direction.
He's so talented.
I'm a One Direction fan.
so talented.
But yeah, we'd totally be One Direction. We like knew all of their like dances to all their songs.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah. No, well, I said knew, not we know them.
For the
I
listeners,
remember.
they attempted to do a dance move, but they were very uncoordinated.
We
So
white.
true. Yeah. What about you guys?
Favorite?
I would be Brockhampton.
Brockhampton.
I forgot that was multiple people. I always it's one person.
From what band?
If the question to them is if you were a boy band, does that mean for us?
Oh,
if
does that
you're
mean for us? We have to be a girl band?
Spice Girls. You're Spice Girls.
Spice
Oh my
Ethan.
gosh.
If you want to be, no. Yeah. So tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
I actually don't know a lot of women.
Odessa.
I was gonna say what's the what?
Odessa's a
lot
girl
of girl
band?
bands.
Is it really? Aren't they from
Primarily.
Spokane?
There was.
What's the one with Beyonce?
I'm not sure.
They
Actually.
have a
Oh,
house
Destiny
in
Child.
Spokane. I know
Destiny
that.
Child.
Oh, that's so you.
Or sorry, not
Destiny's Child.
Odessa, but Odessa.
Odessa,
Oh.
like
Two S's.
like Odessa,
Like
Got it.
Washington.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Not Odessa, but I mean that is a good band. But I don't
Yeah.
think that's
Girl bands aren't really a thing. Now that I
Destiny's
think about
Child.
it.
They are.
They're not
Destiny's
as
Child.
common.
They're just not as common.
They just
Yeah.
don't make it.
Well, there's Little Mix,
Oh yeah, Little Mix was a thing.
who has Perry. I love that name. It's such a
Actually, no. I just thought of.
Barry's
I just
the
thought of the
Bactables?
perfect. I just thought of the perfect one.
Huh.
And I'm trying to remember. I believe that they are called the Shags.
The Shags.
Oh, yeah.
You
Okay.
should refer to women as Shags.
I can see it. I feel like I can.
Okay, let me explain. Okay. So back in the '90s, there was this dude who he was the father of I think 3 or 4 girls, and he had his fortune done, and his fortune was that he was going to become rich, and that it was going to be through music. And so he went home, and he knew that like his daughters, like they had done some music in school, and so they had like a little bit of experience, but like not a ton. And so he basically put them into a recording studio. Like it was like it was like within like the week, he put them in a recording studio, like a professional recording studio, and had them record an album. And keep in mind, these girls are like in like middle school.
This is your favorite band?
So
This is him.
no, that's not
Careful.
Okay, so the question was if you were like a girl band, like
okay.
what would it be? So really, like this album, it ended up influencing a lot of other singers who we think like are, the top singers of like our generation or like the generation before us. And so like it was really influential, but it is such a different album. Like, it's very hard to listen to because it is so different, but it's just like so unique, and it's one of those things where it's like you can't replicate that sound and yeah, and I mean, like the band, like the sisters, like I think, like they still either they still perform or they have recently like still performed,
Okay.
which is really interesting.
So moral of the story, Cam would be a preteen girl
Exploited for money
exploited for money.
by her
Father.
greedy father.
Not exactly what I was
Went to
thinking,
a
but
fortune
okay.
teller.
I didn't know this about you, Cameron.
I expected nothing less, to be honest. Like,
I just appreciate it because it is so like different and against the grain.
Okay, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
what color is it?
It's like a moss green.
Interesting. I was really thinking like hot pink. Like I was expecting.
I was
that.
hot pink and
Really
baby blue.
We're all way off. I think I was thinking orange.
Gracious child.
Alrighty.
Wait, did you already say yours, Ethan?
He's Destiny's Child.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of girl
I thought he was
bands.
Spice Girls.
Spice Girls.
Or
Be
Destiny's
scary
Child.
Spice.
Actually, I could also be Melody's Echo Chamber, possibly.
I believe you.
I don't know
what
don't
that
know
is.
who that is. Who is she?
That'll be my homework for you. Is go listen to Melody's Echo Chamber.
Just remember, we're
Melodies.
homeschooled, so we're like trying to stay on track, but you're expecting too much of us.
Yeah, and we kind of went over that. So, what kind of music are you into? But kind of a part of that question that someone asked was, what do you think music will be like in the next like 20 to 50 years? Will it like be different? Will it be the same? Will like the industry have changed, especially with the way that things are going, where people are like doing more recording at home
Yeah.
as opposed to like doing tours and.
This was Judah.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
You just broke HIPAA. How do you feel?
That's a $50,000 fine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did kind of talk about this, but I think that was
I feel like there will probably be phases of it getting like more futuristic and electric-y and then like going back to its roots.
yeah.
I think that will probably be like a consistent
Yeah.
thing that happens. And probably like the band, I think they're called the Avalanches.
Yep. Love them.
I feel like kind of like their style, how like it's kind of like not really futuristic-y, but like kind of, I don't know, like it's different. But then there's like the little mix of like the like old school Motown like
Yeah.
50s stuff. I dig that.
Yeah,
And
Solo Love.
I feel like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
where
I
we are
also
right-
don't know the future. So
There you go. I feel like right now we're like what you were talking about. We're in that phase where everything is a lot more like grounded and not as like crazy and like a lot more like folk music and especially with like people being quarantined and just being inside their houses. Like there's a ton
like
of
a
like
lot of rediscovery.
Yeah.
Of, like
Yep.
our roots.
Yep.
Bread. Yes.
Do you guys listen to the new Taylor Swift album,
Yes.
No.
the acoustic one?
I
did.
am afraid of
You should
Taylor
listen to it.
Swift.
You should listen to it.
Why are you
Okay.
afraid of?
I think she's gonna kill me.
Oh my gosh. She's her sleep paralysis demon. She wakes up in the middle
Truly
of the night. Taylor
terrifying.
Swift is in the corner of her room.
But also, like, okay, so like I don't actually have manic phases, but like whenever like I go through times like where I like have a lot of energy, like Taylor Swift is always like what I listen to, like her old music. Like there have been I don't know if I want to go on record as saying this, but I have laid on the ground listening to Taylor Swift's old music more times than I care to admit.
Yeah.
I could see you being like in her music videos because they're always about like guys being like the the
leeches
e-
on society.
no like the
Guys
her-
are the props.
like the
or-
guy that she likes like her like his girlfriend or something like that, like the bad guy.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
know, like Selena Gomez is like the one she's fighting in Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So where I was originally going with this is
I'm
that
so sorry.
Taylor Swift had an album that was way more acoustic, and
Okay.
it threw a lot of people off because obviously you're not really like used to hearing that kind of sound from her. And what was really interesting is the purpose for that album was the house that she lives in that she was quarantined in, she basically did a little bit of research into like who the previous owners of the house were, and she like came up with this like semi-fabricated love story, like using their names, and then used that as like the basis for the album. So this album has like different perspectives from three people who are in this like love triangle, and it's really interesting.
You should do that with this home.
That was really cute. I liked that story. I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You're
is very
helping Alaina
interesting.
overcome her fears.
Speaking of fears, Halloween costumes, favorites.
Guys, we were homeschooled.
Yeah, we
didn't
had like
celebrate
harvest party
Halloween.
crap.
Yeah.
Have I ever dressed up before?
I dressed up as Snow White one time. Shauna made my
yeah.
costume and it was really cool. Shauna's really good at making costumes.
You and her friend group actually at our old church dressed up as One Direction one
I was
time.
Zayn. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. One time in our youth group at our old church, we had a costume party. I think it was for Halloween, but like I said, it was called like a harvest party or something. And I dressed up as a peasant and I won a prize, and it was a keg. No, not a keg. It was a what is that called?
The beer thing.
Stein.
Yeah, stein.
It was a stein. I got a
nice.
stein at church for being dressed like a peasant. Like what?
That's like the most medieval thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
Right? It went with the theme very well. But yeah, we don't really dress up that often. But me and Christian, like, since I have dark hair and he has red hair, there's like a lot of Halloween costumes that we've talked about because there's so
Every
many couples that
single
have red
time.
hair
Yeah.
and brown hair.
I want you guys to
Like-
be Ricky and Lucy so bad.
But Christian will be
Christian
Lucy, and I'll be Ricky.
Like Lucille Ball.
And
There you go,
then,
perfect.
but like Hercules and Meg, like come to mind, and like Colette and Linguini, Carl and Ellie, but that's wrong, like gender wise. But and like from Hotel Transylvania, like Johnny and Mavis. There's just so many like couples that are redhead brunette. So someday I'll have like that was my favorite Halloween costume. But
I was
we haven't
also
done it
Wednesday
yet.
Adams for Halloween this year.
Oh yeah, you
Oh
were.
yeah, nice.
Which, I
Yeah.
felt like that was very
Yeah.
on brand for me.
My niece, who's like my best friend, she's 3, and she told me I should dress up like a toilet. So that's going to be my favorite.
Gosh,
She's such a little nut.
She is.
that's really funny.
Have you?
Do
you guys dress up?
Ethan, go.
Oh. I've always hated dressing up.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
He's like Jim
Like,
from The Office.
does
He
it
wears
make
like
you
a
insecure?
name tag that says Dave.
Does it make me insecure? Maybe. I just have never liked.
How do you feel about
Or maybe
that,
it's
Ethan?
because he's so confident in who he is, he doesn't want to change his identity. Maybe it's not
true.
because he's.
I
That's
feel
why I
like-
could never be like an actor or do like theater.
Oh my
Because I'm
gosh.
so secure in who I am. Wait, we need to cut that part out.
So
We need to cut that
inspirational.
part out. We need to cut that. That's very passive aggressive.
Ethan, you could dress up as Oddjob from James Bond.
Is he Asian?
You could be Jackie Chan.
I could be.
Oh my gosh! Did that break?
What happened, Cam? Holy cow!
Where did you go?
Anyways, yeah.
Just scoot your chair like farther in so it's not like on the vent.
The vent. Give a whole new
Ethan just
meaning to the
vented.
word venting.
Take a deep breath.
I don't know. I used to dress up. What?
You've like never like dressed
No,
up?
I've dressed up before. I was a doctor one year because I just had like one of. It was actually in like 2017, and I actually had a mask, a doctor like the. What are those like?
Like we all do now.
we all do. And I was looking back on my phone and I saw this picture of me and my one of my best friends from Halloween, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a COVID mask. I had a mask on. I was like, wow, it's like prophetic. It's like I was already prepared.
Actually, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
maybe that was my favorite.
Cam, are you
I don't
into
know.
Halloween? I feel like that would be a thing for you.
Yeah.
Do you dress up as Game of Thrones characters?
No.
What's
That
that,
was
one
so,
like
like,
pretty girl with the
2016.
blonde hair?
Daenerys.
Yeah, you should be her.
Sad.
Did she die?
I
Spoiler.
honestly don't even remember a lot from like the last few seasons. I think I just like blocked it all out of my mind because they're just like not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my family was always kind of into like dressing up, not necessarily like the quote unquote Halloween like traditions, but I think like dressing up on Halloween is like a fun thing to do. And I think my favorite one was actually one that I did for college. So in college, in like first year, so it was just like a 2-year program. So in first year, we had this project where we had to come up with a logo, and I came up with a logo for a ramen company called Ramen Boy.
Yeah. That was,
And-
I like that shirt.
I ended up dressing up as Ramen Boy for college, and so I had like bright yellow pants, like chino pants, and then like a bright yellow long sleeve T-shirt, and then I made like the face out of like foam, and then I put like a piece of wire on it so that would like stick onto the front of my face, and yeah.
Cool. Nice. So you were Justin Timberlake from the 90s, is what I'm hearing? I like it.
It's like it's
perfect.
a mirror staring back at him.
I get it, yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
Do you guys have like a catchphrase or something you say like really often?
Okay, so the way I was thinking about this was like, if my life was subtitled, is that the correct word? If there were subtitles to my life, like what would be
The one
put
that
on, like said the most?
Yeah.
And I feel like I just make inaudible noises like a lot. Like I'm like, or like, like I don't know. Like I'm alone a lot, so I feel like I don't talk a lot. Like I just make noises.
I have a coworker actually that she like types like MHMMM like all the time, and every time that she does that, I just hear. Yeah.
I mean, like in real life, probably just like sorry, or actually no, I know
Sorry.
one.
That's the one?
Sorry.
You said sorry. Oh,
Sorry?
okay. Gotcha.
I like pardon better.
Pardon.
Pardon?
Yeah. Pardon.
Actually, okay, no, for real, I thought of one. I say like I was listening to this podcast, or like, oh yeah, I heard like a podcast about that, because like I listen to a lot of podcasts, so that probably just like, so I was listening to this podcast.
That's cool.
The end.
Oh. I zoned out, and then I came in at the end, and I was so confused, like why you were talking about listening to a podcast, but then you like ended there.
It's because she's so cultured. That's why.
Oh, right.
What would yours be, Katryna?
I don't know. What do I say a lot?
I don't know.
I can't think of
That's what you say a
anything
lot.
you say a lot, but the other day you said that you were a trying boy, and I felt like that could
Oh,
be your
yeah.
like slogan.
I'm a
Yeah.
trying boy.
I'm a trying boy. Like, so Elena's like nickname for me is Little Boy. Like when I tested positive for COVID a couple weeks ago, as soon as she found out, she texts me, "Stupid COVID boy," and then she comes upstairs and she has like coffee in her hand and she's walking towards me, "Dumb stupid COVID boy." And so I feel like me like being like, I'm a trying boy. Like I try my hardest. I feel like that's a good one for me. I feel like I say it be like that sometimes,
That's
or
true.
I say shook a lot. Like I'm like 3 years behind mentally, but I say that a lot. My favorite word, which I know it's like catchphrase, but I also say this a lot, is legiterally. So it's a combination of legitimately and literally.
Nice.
And I live by that.
Nice.
Yeah. What are your guys' catchphrases?
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. Totally was.
Your Instagram bio?
Nice.
Nice.
That's true. Nice.
It should be.
I'll change my Instagram name, just be Cameron Nice.
Nice. What's yours? Cam by design? Design.
No, it's just Cameron Design.
Cameron design.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. He's a trying boy.
Trying boy.
Truly.
Ethan's catchphrase. I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
I can't help you on this one, Ethan. Maybe you should watch the podcast.
What do I say a lot?
Yoga, yoga, yoga. Yoga is your catchphrase.
Yoga's my
yoga, yoga, yoga.
Yeah.
What do I say a lot? Are you? I don't know if they're laughing at me or they're laughing at the background noise.
Both.
Both.
All of the above.
I feel very on edge right now.
I don't think
I
I've
feel
known
like
you long enough.
You say "what's up" a lot. Like the highlight of my Sunday mornings when you first started coming was "Sup, Katryna." I was like, oh, somebody noticed this.
Oh, I do say. I say sup a lot.
Yeah, you do. Or
Yeah.
you
I
also
think
like will
I've-
raise your hand in this way, and then when you get called, and you're like, "What?"
Actually, I feel like your catchphrase is So what I was saying was,
no.
Yes.
I don't mean that in like a bad way. It's just
It's like a buffering.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
loading.
Like the dial-up tone.
It's like loading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. I say good times a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
actually no. That's your catchphrase.
I
It's
like
good,
that.
Good times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've picked that up
Good
from you
times,
just
good
from being
vibes.
around you.
if you have like, if you ever have awkward conversation, or if you're like, I don't know how to end this conversation.
Good
Good times.
Good times. You just look them,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at them right in the eyes. And,
We could make a story out of all of our
Nice.
catchphrases. Like, I'm a trying boy who listens to podcasts, has good times, and is nice.
That is like a Tinder
it's like a
profile.
Mad Lib. Like a Mad Lib. We can make like
Yeah.
Mad Libs.
Yes.
Nice.
We should make a podcast about this, guys.
Okay, moving on.
Favorite place to visit or somewhere you'd like to visit?
I mean, we were talking about.
It can't be Oregon.
I was going to say, like,
I don't
Oregon
like
is
it. Northern California.
Oregon is pretty like nostalgic for me. It's like a very peaceful and relaxing place, so I do like there. But I also really liked like going to Costa Rica and Ukraine was really cool. I'd really like to visit like Canada and explore that. I
Child,
just
we've
feel
been to
like
Canada.
I know, but I was 3 years old. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of really cool, beautiful places in Canada.
There
So
are.
that's somewhere I would
big.
like
should
to
do it.
go. Yeah.
You should do it. Yeah, no, you should go to Canada. Ainsworth
Yeah.
Hot Springs is a really cool resort. Very relaxing, peaceful, sitting in a hot springs and just like looking at the scenery. There's also a place up farther up into Canada. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks like Mars.
Oh.
Like it looks like a different planet.
I would love to go there.
It is
cool.
super cool looking.
Actually, fun fact, I own an acre on Mars. Truth.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's so
Nice.
cool.
Wow. Elon Musk can never build there unless he asks you.
I have so much power.
You really do. But I would love to visit like more historic America, you know, like the East Coast. Like I would love to go. I don't know if this is necessarily like on the East Coast, but like Baltimore and Boston and like the like. I can't believe they're like part of like here.
Yeah.
And I can just go
Yeah.
over there. Like America's like huge.
Yeah.
It is. It is huge.
Yeah.
I'd also really love to go to New Zealand. Looks really legit there.
Did you see the story
Yeah.
about how like what was it like chicken or geese or something are taking over like the Shire where like they
Oh
filmed
my
the Lord of the Rings
gosh.
because there's no one there.
That's
Oh my
And so
gosh.
all these like animals are just like taking it over.
They're
That
like,
makes it more exciting. It's pretty realistic.
cool.
Favorite place? You know, some people really love traveling. Like they're like, I just have like a checklist of every place I want to go. I'm not necessarily like that. I like when I'm on vacation, not doing a lot. So it doesn't have to be like go, go, go. Probably just like a tropical island where I can just lay on the beach and not think for like 3 days.
Kauai.
Sounds magical.
So like Fiji,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Cancun, just someplace tropical. But like if I really wanted to like go sightseeing and like see a whole bunch of cool stuff, I'd probably go to like Italy or
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Australia would be
Yeah.
cool.
Italy and Israel.
Israel.
Those
Oh, I
would be
really want to.
so
Actually,
cool.
I do want to go to Israel.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Nice.
Person talks about Israel so
Nice.
much, I feel like I've been.
Oh yeah.
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 So when you were talking about the person that has a checklist of every place they
It's
want to
you.
visit, it's
That's
me.
yeah. I know.
So yeah, I really haven't traveled that much. Like I've been to Canada once.
We can
I've
go
been
on.
to Ukraine
We can go on a
once.
vacation together, Cam.
So romantic.
Basically what I'm thinking of doing is within the next like 2 to 3 years, basically getting a small trailer that I can pull and just staying at different campgrounds across America and just like
I love that.
working like while sightseeing so
That would
that
be
I can
so
just
cool.
like be out there for like months.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fun. Yeah.
That'd
you
be
know,
so
you
fun.
give off like a nomadic vibe.
Yeah, you definitely
Like
do.
I dig that.
Yeah.
I really support you doing that.
yeah. You have our blessing in
I
this.
support you too, Cam. You're my blessing as well.
Yeah. The hardest thing would just be like logistics and
Uh-huh.
obviously I love doing this podcast and if I'm in
Well,
in Boston, like I wouldn't be able to do
Boston.
this.
like
but-
a lot
Not
of
just
people right
Boston,
now
Boston.
are doing
Boston.
a lot of people right now are doing like podcasts through Zoom.
yeah.
I feel like the technology is really like in your corner right
I
now.
hate Zoom.
Is it because of the Chinese?
I don't know.
That's how I like get my comedy.
I'm not the biggest fan of Chinese people. What?
I get my comedy through Zoom.
Interesting.
Just like just screen shares in general. Just the amount of like just weird, wacky, funny stuff that happens through screen shares is very delightful for me.
I promised myself I would never do Zoom again. I did like 3 of them.
I cried on a Zoom call one time, and since then
It was one of the SYA ones.
Yeah,
Really?
it was because
Those were the most awkward.
Those were so bad.
That would be so. Imagine doing that now with all the new people.
Oh my
that would be
God.
so
Everyone.
weird.
So bad.
There's like
What's up,
50
guys?
people there, and you're just like,
Yeah.
It was a good time.
what's the stupidest thing you've ever done, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, so I need to know, how stupid are we talking? Like, do you want to know if we killed a man, or do you want to know about like not like jaywalking or
Huh.
something?
For
For me,
stupidest thing.
My thought is like the stupidest thing where
Did
you had
not
a lot of
elaborate
like
on that.
regret afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something that you did where you're like,
Not just
okay,
like, oh my gosh,
that was like
Threw Katrina on the ground and she got
uncharacteristic.
stick. Like something where it's like, wow,
Like I can't believe I can't believe I've done this.
Can't believe you've done this.
I mean, for me, I like have a history of just ghosting people when I'm done with them. Like, I don't know how to be like, you scare me and I don't want you in my life anymore. So I'll just like slowly stop talking, then stop replying to their texts, and then block them. I have done this. And I think that's not the best way to go about things. And I imagine it probably hurts people a lot. And I don't like to hurt people.
What do you think is the best way to go about that?
That's a really good question. I haven't learned that. I haven't.
She's like, I'm still doing it.
No, I have done that like probably within the last year. And that's just not a good thing to do. And that's what I've learned is don't do that. Probably just like, I'd imagine it's probably just like being like, so like, I think we're going in different directions. It's not me, it's you. Wait. I really don't know how to like properly end a relationship.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I don't think any of us are super well versed in this, but I do think with any sort of like relationship, I think it's it's better to let them know like what's going on, so that
probably.
so that they're not like hurt by it, and just be like super matter of fact, and yeah, and I mean it's kind of hard, like you have a lot of friends, especially like friendships. I feel like it can be pretty hurtful if you just like never like talk to them again.
Yeah.
So at least like letting them know. But I mean I've been guilty of doing that several times. Just like having a friend that maybe from college that is in a different place and has different beliefs and is in a totally different walk of life.
Yeah.
And just like not talking to them. So
Yeah. It's rough.
we appreciate your vulnerability.
Thank you. I'm gonna be like, on live TV I share like my deepest, darkest secrets.
Live TV. Yep. Katrina?
I'm having a hard time.
She's literally never done anything in her entire life.
I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever done. It's just do the bare minimum.
Like, guys, she's 20, she has a house, she has a job. She's checked all the boxes, she's engaged.
she's gone from like 0 to like 100 and just like whew.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you kind of wasted your quarantine.
Yeah.
You
I
could have
think
done a
I
lot
didn't-
more.
Yeah.
You could have baked bread.
I feel like I'm really bad at taking advantage of opportunities. Like I'm really good at, like, I have 20/20 hindsight, but when I'm in the moment, I don't deal with them very well. Like I was thinking of like, I don't know, like youth camps I went to, or like I was in EMT school a couple of years ago, and just even like the mission trips and stuff I've been on, I'm like, I could have done so much more. I feel like I just like,
Yeah.
I don't realize how many opportunities are around me until afterwards. And I'm like, crap, I could have actually tried. So I don't have like a specific one that comes to mind, but I have a whole bunch of little ones, I guess. That's definitely my weakness though.
Yeah, for sure.
I relate with that.
Yeah.
Being like, yeah, feeling like you kind of skipped the the quote unquote like stupid phase. Like you hear stories from people
Yeah.
all the time where they're like, when I was your age, just like went to the bar and just like got
Yeah.
super drunk and like did all these crazy
Yeah,
things.
bro.
Yeah,
and we're just like,
yeah, we were all like raised in like Christian
Yeah.
households, and so like we kind of missed that.
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I guess though what I learn from it every time is like, dang, I need to be more intentional and actually like look at all the opportunities that are at hand. So yeah.
It's good.
Cool. Self-improvement.
Once again, trying
Self-improvement.
little boy.
Ethan, what about you?
Stupid. Man, I don't know.
I know
There's
you
so
got
many.
some stuff.
There's so many.
Are you calling him an idiot?
There's so many stupid things I've done. I don't even know where to start. I can't pinpoint a single one. But what I do know is that from every stupid decision I've made, I have learned from it.
Good.
Good.
So
Summarizing the
what
question
are
back.
things you have learned? He's like beating around the bush answering this question.
I'm actually really thinking. I would say one of the biggest, it's kind of a broad answer to the question. It's not necessarily like a single thing. Is I think I talked about this earlier on one of the podcasts. It's just not appreciating what I have in the moment, and then afterwards looking back and then realizing how much I had, and then being like, darn.
Yeah.
Then like
So-
kind of living like in the past.
Yeah.
Not living in the past, but just being like, oh crap, I didn't take advantage of my opportunities,
Yeah.
or like I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate the season that I was in.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
learning to live more
Yeah.
in the moment
Totally. This
and
makes
not worry about the future as much.
yeah. This
Your
makes
guys' are so tame compared to mine.
yeah. Elena's like opening her heart, and we're just like, I don't know. I've been stupid sometimes, I guess. But this makes me think of like one of my favorite jokes. It's like me in an interview. Like, what are your strengths? I have really great hindsight. Interviewer, I'm not sure how that helps us. Me, oh yes, I see that now. And like,
Oh my
that is my life.
That's funny.
That's pretty great. I have a story.
would love
So
to hear
a few years ago, I went to like a bar / like pool hall with a friend,
Okay.
like a coworker, and they had the Irish Death, which is like a
Stout.
it's like a coffee infused stout.
yeah.
It's really good.
Wow.
It is good.
It's more of like a dessert beer, if anything. But basically, the coworker of mine was paying, and so I was like, sure, I'll have another one. And so I think I ended up having like, I want to say it was like 32 ounces, possibly.
Okay.
Which like for beer, a lot of people like say, it's not that much. But I mean, keep in mind,
Is it
Like, do you
I
just
might
like you
have-
don't drink often?
I don't.
Yeah.
I might have a drink like, maybe every few months or something.
Is it like
Yeah.
7% alcohol?
Okay.
Irish Death? Is it?
Irish Death is 6. I want to say it's like 7 or 8. So
Okay.
it's not like super dang high. It's not like an IPA,
Yeah.
but it is more like concentrated and it is very like rich.
Yeah.
And so basically, yeah, when I got home that evening, I kind of felt like I wanted to die.
Oh no, Cameron.
I just listened to music for like 2 hours, but yeah, the world was spinning there for a few hours, and it was a very interesting experience. But I learned something very valuable from it. It's
Drink lots of water.
yeah, drink lots of water.
Yes.
Water gang.
Yep.
But but yeah, just like don't like if you're tempted to like overindulge.
For sure.
And this can be like anything. Just take
Yeah.
things in moderation and
Like eating a
Definitely.
giant donut.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
so called out.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good like learning experience.
I get
It's a
that.
very good life lesson.
Thank you for being vulnerable with us.
Me and Ethan, not so much.
Who has had the most positive impact on your life and how? Jesus.
yeah.
Perfect.
Son of God.
That was easy.
Yeah.
That was an easy question.
So like
And
other
how?
than
Well, he
Jesus?
saved me from my sins and from death, hell, and the grave. Pretty simple.
If you could maybe add to that'd be great.
I'll say my parents.
Just tell us that our answer isn't good enough.
I mean, like, see, the thing is, like, literally, who has had the most impact on all of our lives would probably be our parents. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't leave us out in the cold as a baby.
Whether that's positive impact or negative impact, like your parents are the one who raised you. So everybody has that common denominator that they probably have the most impact on your life some way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid answer. I mean, it could also be like, a mentor or, someone who like taught you stuff or.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to that boy.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say apart from Jesus and my parents, because apparently they're not good enough for you guys. I would probably say either John Pafford had a lot of impact in my life as like as my youth pastor. I'd say also probably there's so many people that I feel like have had a lot of good impact in my life, but I feel like Miss Allie, Christian's mom, has impacted me a lot. I don't want to cry, but I love her.
Congrats.
I can't elaborate too much because I'm already tearing up. But she's just a very
really
safe
nice
person for me, and she's
a sweet lady.
Yeah.
And she's like also had like, I don't even know her like that as well. And she's also had like very positive impacts on my life. She's a wonderful,
she's one of those people who like makes you want to try harder, but doesn't make you feel bad about that person you are. You know?
Yeah, I love her. I love Miss Allie.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
But Christian's also had a very positive impact on my life too, not just his mom.
You're just gonna marry someone who's had no impact on your life.
I didn't want to just say like my fiance, but yeah, just all those people. Lots of positive impact.
Cool.
All good things.
My turn? Jesus, my parents. There's a lot of people.
Well, you have like that really cool mentor guy.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like. I like when I talk to people. Just I always try to take something from conversations with anyone. So there's not necessarily like one person. Like I could literally talk to some random person at the grocery store and they could say something. And,
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
No.
So I don't know how many random people I've met where I've had like 2-minute conversations with them, and it's like, wow, like that stuck with me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people love Pafford, love
So
John, great
great.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But recently, I really like the Kaisers
A new person.
and Matt and Nicole and
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel
All
like all of those people just like the
Can I actually choose a different person?
Okay. Can I finish what I was saying first?
Yeah.
Thank you. I just feel though like the common denominator is just all of them like are trying to have you like live the best like eternally minded
your
life
best
that you
life
can.
now, Joel
Live your
Osteen.
best life. Angel Osteen, other positive impact, just kidding. But they just like really like turn your perspective to like what's going to matter like when you're with
In the
Jesus
long
one
run.
day and what makes you have like a kingdom mindset is what they like continue to push on me. So I feel like that's had a huge impact on my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know Pastor Terry very well, and I know you don't necessarily agree with his theology, but almost every sermon I leave, it's like regardless if I agree with the theology or not, or even know a lot about it, like I always leave like reminded that we're supposed to live for the kingdom of God, even if I don't necessarily like the first few like. At the beginning, I'm like, wow, I've never heard this theology before. But he always kind of tied it back around how intentional we have to live.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to submit a new answer?
Yeah, I would say I've been very impacted by 2 pastors, specifically being
R.C. Sproul.
R.C. Sproul, yeah. R.C. Sproul and Paul Washer.
Paul Washer.
Dang it, I was
Washer,
going to
have
say
you
I
ever
would've
heard
I could have guessed that.
Have
If
you
give me
ever
a second
heard
guess.
the shocking youth message?
No.
Oh my gosh. So there's this thing. He was at like this youth rally and he was like going off. He was like talking about how like you need to like submit to like the authority of God and like life isn't about like wanting to be like a part of the culture. And then like, but it was like much more deep. And like, then like all the students like start clapping. And he said, I don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking about you. And then like, it's like mic drop and like, I've seen it a few times, and like every time it's like winding up to that point, he's like, I don't know why you're clapping. And then so like, I'm talking about you. I was like, oh,
Wow. What a
I love him
roast.
so much. And he like, just like, he's like such a pure man. Like, and,
He's
like,
very wholesome.
he speaks about things like so solemnly, but then like he also like can like show like so much joy. Like I watched a video of like, it was like a 17-minute what was it? Library tour. But he was like just like so excited and like he was like, these are great men and like all this stuff, and like bless him.
Yeah.
He really changed my mindset on what it looks like to live as a Christian. But also the man, the myth,
The legend.
recommended him to me. So I would say like he recommended a lot of like pastors who have positively impacted my life.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Very good. Cam?
Okay.
All right. So I haven't really had any like mentors. Obviously, my parents have been a pretty positive impact in my testimony. Link in bio. Like my parents were the ones that like taught me about that stuff. So in terms of like, church and like taking me to church, forcing me to go to church, like when I didn't want to. And, I think that impacted me in a very positive way. Other than that, I would say the number of youth pastors that we had at like my old church
For sure.
were all super impactful. And we had so many of them that like they all brought something new and different to the table. And, it was very strange, like having a new youth pastor. I think it was like every year, every 2 years.
Yeah.
But just like the variety of perspectives that we got was like super interesting. So yeah, shout out to all the youth pastors.
For real.
One of them,
Youth
John.
pastors are the best.
Yes.
So, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Cameron, are you ever going to get married?
Oh, yeah. We have to get to the bottom of this.
Okay, so I for some reason thought that I heard you say that you didn't want to get married at one point.
I'm pretty sure that, I said that at one point.
Oh, like me too.
I think we all have had that phase.
For sure.
As far as like right now goes, I'm definitely not against it. Like I'm definitely not like, no, I never want to get
Like,
married.
you
I just
like
want to
the
be single
ladies.
forever. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, he
hasn't met the ladies, but he likes the idea of the ladies.
But I think I like the idea of like at this point in my life, just being free and being single. And like what I was talking about with like the road trip and stuff. Obviously, if you're in a relationship, that would be like way more
Unless
difficult.
you marry her and take her with you.
Just find him like on the side of the road. Just jump aboard.
Yeah, if he gets lonely, he can just start kidnapping people.
Oh my gosh, this works. There's going to be like a documentary on Cameron as a serial
so we
killer.
definitely haven't had the most positive impact in your life. We're like saying you should kidnap girls.
No, I mean I'm not like opposed to it. It's just the idea.
Sorry. Sorry, we're still
going back to what we were.
Yes,
The marriage, not the
women
kidnapping.
in marriage.
I apologize.
Yes. Yeah, but it's not like I haven't. It's not like I haven't thought about this at all. It's just that at this point, I just don't know. And I'm sure like if the right person comes along, it changes your mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
The idea of it is different than like the actual reality of it. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Cameron.
But
It is very
yeah.
Are you gonna get married, Ethan? Do you like
Oh,
the
I'm
ladies?
sure one day. Yeah, I like women,
Congratulations.
not time men.
not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm very just kind of go with the flow. So
Cool.
I have no like rush.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
Yeah. It is so true though. Once you find like the right person, like before Christian, I was like, I'm going to be the next Paul, like marriedness who?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was like Christian, I was like, yes, I see it now.
Like I didn't want like any kids, like but now I'm like 6, 7, 8
8 kids.
Yeah, she wants 8, but
I would have up to 6. I think after 6 is when
when the scissors come to play.
for sure.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think kids are a blessing now.
Yeah, definitely.
So thoughts on John Calvin's culpability and the burning of Michael Servetus?
He had no culpability. He said, go. We don't want you here. Please
So
go.
maybe we should explain the story behind
Yeah,
this.
I'm
'cause
like,
sure
I know
that,
nothing about this.
Yeah,
Explain.
I'm sure Ethan also doesn't know anything about this.
Back
but
in the day, dude,
Back in
who
the day.
asked this question? Because I know
I
it's
know who
directed at
did
me.
it.
Who was it?
We all know.
Was it Christian?
No.
okay,
Oh,
I'll just
no.
say I did not submit this question, but I did do some research and I
Okay.
know some of the background behind
Who
it.
submitted the question?
So,
I don't know. It's anonymous, dude.
Oh, it was.
I think we all have
really
know in our hearts.
this man, he was a heretic. And you need to take into account that
Michael Servetus?
Yes. You need to take into
Okay.
account that back then heresy was taken very seriously.
It was.
People really protected the what is the word? Like for like
The sacred?
well no, the reputation of God.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I cannot remember what his heresy was, but John was like, yo, you gotta go, like, recant, like, all this stuff. And he, like, I think he left for a little bit, but I could be wrong. But then, no matter
don't
what,
think
he
he
ended up back in Geneva.
Yeah.
And he was burned. But, like, John tried to, like, get him out of it. He was like, dude, like, if you stay here, we're gonna kill you. Like, that's just how it be.
Yep.
Like, you slander our God, you get the stake. Like, I think, I don't know. I feel like, okay, not that I condone burning heretics, but I feel like people need to have the perspective in mind of how holy God is
More
and
reverence.
how people who perpetuate heresy are leading people to hell. They are leading people to eternal death. And so I think that people's eternal souls are much more important than one man's life. I say hesitantly.
Yeah, it's kind of a touchy topic, and everyone has very polarizing ideas on this, on like what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that John Calvin was necessarily responsible. Like, it was the church that convicted Michael to burning at the stake, and like he did try to, suggest a like less painful death for Michael as opposed to like burning, which is like the most terrible way to die.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I'm concerned about people's eternal souls, not heretics getting to live and perpetuate their heresy.
Yeah, and obviously things are like way different now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
like,
I don't know if you
we
can
can-
necessarily like one.
Like, we can put it on the internet and be like, Joel Osteen is a heretic and is not to be trusted. But like back then, like this person could like get loose and go like lead like people astray.
Mm-hmm.
And that's horrible.
And I think part of it too was that they were closely following like the Old Testament practices. And
Yeah.
maybe a little bit too much to the
Yeah.
point
It was
of
a different time.
taking everything like literally, like, oh, if you like commit these sins, like God,
Yeah.
they're like
That's
God is
called
pure,
theonomy. Yes.
right? So
You know?
I think there was a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I was really not expecting like a pointed question.
good. That's good. That's good. I think we'll actually do one more.
Okay.
Do we have time for one more question,
Yeah, I gotta
Ethan?
get going soon, but yeah.
Okay, so this is just like a quick wrap-up question. So do you guys have any 2021 resolutions or things that you'd like to accomplish for the year?
Trina, do you want to get married this year?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm getting married in 3 months. So so I guess I would just like to accomplish learning how to be a wife and like
Not burning your
not-
food.
I would love to learn how to cook and I'd also just love to learn like more about Christian and like ways that like we can't like you can only learn so much in all the different phases of relationships. So I'm just excited to get to like learn and like love each other more in like that new stage in life and
That's sweet.
yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm so excited.
I support. My resolution would just be to read my Bible every day. Like, even if I'm not completing my reading plan for the day, just like reading something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like totally flopped on my reading plan last year. You can see it ends in March, which makes sense.
Just like everything else in the
So
world.
I feel like I kind of like loosened the reins a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to complete my reading plan every single day, which I try to, and I usually do. I'm actually ahead right now.
Nice. Congrats.
But thank you. But I just want to read every single day. Like, I only read one chapter last night because I got home late.
Mm.
So, yeah.
I want to read one book a month,
Nice.
which is something that like I'll read like 2 or 3 books one month, and then I'll take a really
feel
long
that.
hiatus, not even intentionally.
Mhm.
So I just want to be more consistent with reading in general.
Yeah.
And then also, I go through like seasons in like my spiritual walk where like I'll be really, really good at reading the Bible.
Mhm.
And then other times where I really have to force myself to. So
Yeah.
also just being more consistent in that.
Nice.
I want to
kind
get to know
of
Cameron better. On a deeper, more spiritual level. Okay.
You want to learn how to be a
Nice.
good wife to
I want to be
Cameron.
able to, yeah.
A good helper.
That's funny. Mine's kind of similar.
About the Ethan
no.
Okay. 'Cause I was
Basically,
joking.
yeah, I know
Okay.
you're joking. Basically, just like trying to establish a routine for things. So
Yeah.
being more consistent with things that are more important.
Yeah.
So obviously, like reading the Bible, listening to Bible, like focused podcasts. I already do quite a bit of like listening to like a daily audio Bible, but it's more of just like the discipline of doing that. I've gotten better at like doing like exercising and just like staying healthy, eating better. I basically adopted the plan of like doing something active like every day. So
Yeah.
not necessarily where you're like, okay, like 3 days a week, I'm just gonna run like a bunch of miles. I'm just gonna like do this super intense workout that's like an hour, and then I'll have to like take rest days to like recuperate. So like instead of doing that, which is really easy to like get burnt out on like doing that, you like go for a few months and then you're like, okay, this is not sustainable. I can't do this long term. And so you just like stop. So instead, like doing something every day where it could be like going out and running, or it could be going out and walking, or just like doing some stuff inside. So yeah, that, and then like what Ethan was saying with trying to read more, and actually reading through a book that actually a couple books that you had recommended. So the Ruthless Elimination.
Oh,
of
you're
Hurry.
reading that.
I'm reading that. I'm also reading through About Face, which is this sick like it's almost like 900 page book.
Oh, wow.
But it's basically like the best documentation of the Vietnam War by a
Interesting.
colonel who was in several tours, and it's pretty intense, but it's also pretty good.
Nice.
So yeah, trying to read more and stay active and
Just be a
more-
well-rounded
be more
person.
disciplined.
Just be a
Yeah.
well-rounded person.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
yeah. Thanks for being on the podcast. It was awesome.